Hey guys, good morning. Today we'll be looking at one of my favorite movements during the E7 Masters around the top 16, which was held 2 to 3 weeks ago, between two prominent and very active members in the E7 community over at Twitch, Mr. 108050 and Magic G. We all know who Magic G is. He's been a recurring competitor when it comes to E7. We've seen him many times during the E7 World Cup qualifiers and the World Cups itself. He gets really close to those points. And we've seen 10 in 80-50 numerous times if you're watching your favorite streamers. So you can see here that the match predictions are quite very close. 10 80-50 being one of the more favorites because it's been a while we've seen Magic G. He usually only comes up during like whenever there's like a guild war mentions or whenever there are Twitch streamers that are part of the guilds. But always when it comes to the pro scene, when it comes to like E7WCs in the previous years and even the years to come, Magic G has always been there.
Times you might.
So let's skip a bit about this.
So hopefully Magic has some answers against that.
They have a current record of 303.
Spring season prediction though, slightly higher for 10-50, just by a small margin.
So let's look at the drafting here. So what we do know about Mr. Magic G is that he's quite fast, like quite fast, and he has his account so far from how I understood it and how he plays usually is very flexible, but in general he's very fast. So he's taking the pre-bans here are Notos, Lots, Our Lady of the Scales, and then Harsetian Biblis on the right hand side. So the key pickup here was DN, which is understandable since DN's kit is overall really strong.
Yeah, she's not a little bit opposite players.
And then let's just skip through here. Overall, the game scene. So, what's really good here is that in this certain day, or at least day 1 and day 2 of round of 16, is that Salome has been introduced. In the previous day, they've already been showing how disruptive she can be, especially in the latter parts of the draft when, for example, you're reaching like game 3 and game 4 and game 5. We've seen how effective she is, but she's been seeing so much more use in games 1 and 2 as well.
Exactly. And when there's a recovery. Yes,
I do want to add, the Salome was very powerful, even using her own allies. We saw a lot of double free run plays.
Let's times do this for a bit. So, what's very interesting is that Magic G picks Mr. Arbiter Wildred. This is also post buffs, wherein Arbiter Wildred has been seeing more use as like a counter pick, as he has now evasion in his kit and a lot of overall changes with his passive as well. And then we're seeing here Lydica, one of my personal favorite characters. Unfortunately, they're not rocking with the new skin because this was before the release of the skin, I believe. And we don't typically see Lydica pick quite early compared to the other openers so far. And seeing it played here is quite telling how the match is going through. So what we're trying to imply in this like entire scenario is that Magic G wants to contest first pick. And by picking like Lydica, who has a soul burn, enables the end to go ahead and do crazy stuff. So as they're like very fast players, we can always assume that 1080-50 has the ability to always try to do a coin flip here. And by doing so, they allow tactical archetype Collie, who's a notable speed imprint at the moment, who does bombs and frostbites. And as expected, whenever there's we're trying to cleave or we're trying to play aggro, how players typically go for is they always go for like something that introduces counters or introduces RNG in the mix. And having Monarch of the Sword Iseria is a very notable character pick over here. Now, Magic G has two characters here that does counterattack, that being Arbiter Vildred and Iseria. And then the last one introducing the fifth counter character over here, which is Setsuka. So this is going to be like a clown fest to be had. And Mort here being the pick, must ban pick for 1080-50. However, as you can see in the left hand side, we're praying, absolutely praying for no counterattacks, but statistics will always tell us that it's very unlikely, especially with characters such as Setsuka and Monarch Iseria. Okay, Mr. 1080-50 has first pick, and by quite a large margin, 7%. Although that being said, this is a 12-speed imprint, whereas Mr. Magic Chi has a 93% CR bar on Lidica. So if they didn't have the 12-speed imprint here, most likely Lidica would have outsped, and that's really telling us how fast Mr. Magic Chi is.
So even without this imprint, the Renac is going to be going first. So that's the power of the speed badge, and we're going to see
Now,
every single
Renac does S3 immediately,
just immediately opting for the skill 3 and
popping the A Collie to the Ice Collie to do her skill 2 follow up, pushing herself up, and then she's going to do skill 3 here. And because it's AoE, 2 out of 4, so it's 1/2 characters here that procs counter. As with the passives going on between the two characters, we're really expecting some counters. And here, out of nowhere, a counter attack DN, MLDN. This isn't common. Usually what happens is that DNs, typically MLDNs especially, just go for the, as always, like crit damage, effectiveness, attack, speed, all the likes. But here, it's really safe to assume that Mr. Magic Chi probably has 2 MLDNs in his arsenal, and having counterattack DN here sucks. I'm pretty sure this sucked a lot of the players that are watching, and especially that Mr. 1080-50. Although I wouldn't say it's out of the ordinary for players like Magic Chi, who typically has multiple characters built, I believe. And here, Fracture. And this is where things go haywire, right? So Salome goes, you can expect like Salome here. Is there a chance? Personally, the game's over at this point. Iseria is going clutch here. And just watch it go through. Copy Iseria. She's going to do skill 3 here, but it isn't enough to kill either Setsuka or Monarch Iseria for sure. Double counter, Elbit's here and counter as well. Fracture times 2. She's stacking really hard. CR push is enough, and this is GG. The straight up GG. Skill 3 here from Magic G kills everyone in the screen. I believe in this part it only kills 2. Or kills 1 rather. Yep. But in the next couple of seconds, this is just a straight up counter fiesta. This is the classic E7 special wherein right hand side counters every single time. And this is my personal favorite moment because this is like a key indication of how the current state or interactions between each character goes. And I really like these two players. Now, 1080-50 lost here, and this is a pretty clean showing from Mr. Magic Chi. He goes for a really oppressive playstyle wherein he introduces 3 counterattack units, and 2 of the characters that Magic Chi has as counter, and has AoE, which makes the countering very probable. So let's just skip through. I really enjoyed this entire series between the two of them. So ML Poly ban here because Magic Chi was hovering ML Poly earlier on, and her being a really strong opener, especially in the ongoing games. It's really interesting to see. However, for one very weird thing I found there when I was watching this a couple of weeks back is a Ning Ning ban. You wouldn't see it here, but I'm pretty sure like Magic G brought out Ning Ning before in some E7WC qualifiers. I might be wrong, but I do see it sometimes. Here, Nurse Yola's up, Genesis Ras is up. Typical Genesis Ras is being picked up. The combo between Yulha and Genesis Ras is quite strong. And the flag bearer here.
Draw is very good. But we're saying about being pressured, Val?
Take the switch here. Drops all in. Hype.
Bossarunka's already off the table.
Hey,
Really need to push back the
I guess it's pretty standard in this case. If we're going to think about this, I really seem this is like one of my favorite games because Hakedi, no, not Hakedi, Horchata, light Hakedis on the right hand side, and then Zio here is on the left hand side. You would expect that Hakedis wouldn't be like an issue in this team, but of course, that being said, she's being banned because once Zio does his magic Soulburn skill 3, Hakedi would push up and then do some shenanigans. So the expectation here in the draft phase alone is that once 1080-50 skill trees with Zio, what's going to happen, right? Uh, okay, let's just watch in this moment here. Skill tree goes to, I believe, Amit. And here's the really surprising thing, personally. I was really surprised why 1080-50 skill 1 here instead of doing a Soulburn skill 3 or just skill 3 in general. Although it does push up Nurse Shula over here because of I didn't see it. The flag. Glorious Flag, which is the artifact I believe of. Red Cigarette, which you can see here in the screen as well. Now that's a very head scratcher right here. I think he was just expecting that the skill tree from it's enough to cut Ahmed with Nurse Yulha. But you can see here it's just a 1% difference. Manage that speed, and this is where it's GG. Skill 2, skill 3 comes here to play, and then straight up, for really fast game. It's just really unfortunate that it happened. Let's go to skill 3 here. And it's GG, yeah. So, like, this is one of the things that I was really expecting when it comes to E7 Masters, is that it's still going to showcase the woes of playing RTA or just playing E7 in general, right? And it's really telling how important, other than like, of course, draft and characters and decision making, it's a huge, like, you can think of it like, personally, I think of it like a 3/4 advantage when it comes to playing E7. But having the gear to back it up, this is why Magic G just straight up won. It's just like a quality of gear. Although 1080-50, I really wanted this game to be close, or this series to be quite close. Okay, last game here. The Ends banned. And then here's another interesting thing. Mr. 1080-50 bans Mui, which isn't unusual, I believe, for Magic G as well. And I was wrong. Lidica does have a skin in this series right here. Okay, and then we're introduced like Elena, Ice Elena here, or Blue Elena, which is to handle Mr. 1080-50's Lidica. And then Liti here, and then Brigitte. Brigitte wasn't really picked prior to the buffs, as well as Liti as well. So 3 units, in fact, coming from 1080-50, which you don't see usually. And it just stems from the fact that a lot of buffs were introduced between these characters. And personally, I find this game kind of heartbreaking in this part. I was expecting Mr. 1080-50 to win this one. Okay. Selena ban and then Elena ban because it's really important that 1080-50 does his entire combo.
Heavy load on Liti. Let's see.
And outsped by just 1%. 1% on Salome. This is with the speed imprint, I believe, on Lidica, right? Skill 2, skill 3. This is skill 3 here.
Able to retain her turn.
Counterattacks.
Does land the blind, I believe, from the
Skill.
skill nullifier keeps the team cool.
Oh, that miss. That's a hurt.
I believe it just kills one. Yeah, from what I remember.
The Omen started stacking on the Arbiter
And here comes the entire shenanigans of counterattack being played, Setsuka doing her thing.
for the damage coming in against
Because this is an extra turn, it removes the blind debuff. Skill 3 here coming from Salome using Arbiter Wildered's copy. And this is where everything goes to the gutter for the Jurash. Skill
The original RV can now do so
skill
much
2 here is enough to kill.
and look at the
Splash damage. Bonk.
snowball this game too. Splash damage takes out Lidica.
Is this close to
So from this point on, you can see that the game is probably over. Although she does get the greater attack buff and the CR push, it isn't really enough to be honest. And besides, Liti doesn't even scale with attack buff, right?
Block and the
So you would expect here a Soulburn skill 3, right? Mm-hmm.
put out the RV. Is this the game? It's second Omen sack.
Skill 1's here. And we see a counterattack miss as well. So this is really heartbreaking to be honest. Skill 3 here, Soulburn. Yep. On the next turn, she doesn't have her unique passive. Skill 1's here, counters again, but because of the bind and block, he isn't doing anything here. Skill 3 here, this is the unfortunate part, I believe. It's just almost enough to kill. Skill 2 here, kills Liti. Yep, and it's CG. So, I really wanted to show this part wherein Mr. Magic G played this really well. And 1080 did his best. But unfortunately, geared and I really have to say gear and draft really helps here. And so that's it. This is probably one of my favorite favorite moments in the knockout stage, or at least knockout stage. Otherwise, a really good showing from the both of them. Another favorite would be probably the entire line between Keith versus anyone. Keith has been so clean with his drafts and how he plays. Like, I'll show you an example, right? You might be expecting like Keith. Keith is really fast, like extremely fast. And here we can see a draft wherein Keith doesn't really particularly drafts for speed. He does have a Biblis. He does have a Estelle. However, the drafts that he has is like overwhelmingly fast.
against Estelle?
And so far, whenever we see his gameplay, it's very smooth, or it has very clean transitions between going towards the win. So, Goldburn here, counter first. Mm-hmm.
Looks good for now.
He's going to copy someone.
Out of it. Salome.
Are you going to copy Mr. Arbiter Wildred? I don't remember. Oh, he copies
Uh-huh.
So that was very interesting.
More debuffs. He does get it.
Uh-huh.
And I think that's a nice pick of play there. Now that the boss Runka and the Salamander give you two, this S3 from the Biblis.
You would expect him to copy Arbiter Wildred. Skill tree here.
Would that steal? Okay, this does have.
This is going ham on Mr. Estelle. Okay, so this is the skill tree coming from each side. Couple of bombs. Push up here. Arbiter Wildred wakes up. Skill tree, and then it's GG. You can see the entire sequence of events, and that's really unfortunate. However, I believe it still hit like 3 out of 4 on the side of Pirate Captain Plan. So, in general, I really enjoyed the first matches I've shown you guys. which is 1080-50 versus Magic G. But still, a very close, a super close second place would be any games between Keith and anyone else because of how clean he's been playing so far. So that's it for the video, guys. Appreciate you all. Have a nice day.